Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's Sickle Cell Sunday, I'm going to be discussing sickle cell disease and school and how to manage school, tips and tricks that I do at school and stuff like that. I also wanted to wish you guys a happy Valentine's Day. I kind of decorated my studio a little bit with these little hearts I got, and so I hope all of you have an amazing Valentine's Day, and I'm sending good vibes and well wishes to any other warriors or any other sickle cell warriors that are in the hospital currently. So I hope you guys are hanging in there and are doing well. So attending school has always been a priority of mine. School is very important to me. I believe in education. I believe all of us deserve an education, and I am currently in college, and I could have stopped after high school, but I decided to further my education, and I may even go on to work on my master's degree. So with all the years of experience that I have attending school and learning about the different programs at school, I have learned some tips and tricks that can apply to any sickle cell student, whether you are a K through 12 student or a college student like myself. With the first tip that I'm going to begin with is hydration. Being in school sometimes can limit your hydration, so I definitely recommend carrying your own water bottle and having it filled at all times so you can have the ability to drink your water and hydrate yourself, because hydration is an important part of sickle cell disease. But once I started carrying my water, I wasn't running into the issue of having to get up and leave my classroom to look for a nearby water fountain. So I always carry my water bottle with me so I can hydrate myself while I'm in class learning like any other student. The next tip I have is having an open communication with your professors, with your teachers. I think it's very important to notify your teacher of any circumstances or of any issues that are affecting your learning, whether it is the sickle cell itself, or maybe you're having some issues that, you're not understanding a certain problem. Communicate with your teacher. It's very important to communicate. For example, I went through this time period where I wasn't notifying any of my professors, and I was very stressed, and I was trying to keep up with all the workload. I was trying to, I had a bad experience with this one professor who I approached in my second year of college. I was asking him a question of when an assignment was due, and he turned around at me and just started going off on me on how come I didn't read the syllabus. Everything is laid out in the syllabus. And during this time, I was battling my keratoconus, so I didn't have the best vision. So I did read it, so I had slipped my control and I couldn't see the paper very well, so I may have missed the date. So I was, asking a simple question as to when the assignment was due. And I told him I have a vision problem and I have sickle cell and I have all these complications, and he just turned around and told me that I was like this big disability queen, and the only thing I was asking this professor was when this paper was due so I can write it in my calendar, and it just set him off. So ever since then, I've been very intimidated to go ahead and approach a professor and tell them my side of the story and what's going on. And after an experience like that, I left the classroom crying. I was very shy at the time, so I didn't know what to do. I called my mom. My mom was so upset. She wanted to go and pick me up, but I had a class after that, so I just had to go eat lunch and suck it up, like a normal adult would. What I have learned through all this is that one bad seed won't affect all the other teachers. I have amazing teachers this semester, and professors who are seriously helping me out. I was able to leave early from one of my classes because I had an appointment for when I was rejecting my cornea. So I told my professor if I could go ahead and leave early and head up to my appointment, and she was completely fine with it. She was so understanding, very caring. She asks me how I'm doing, how is it going. And I do understand not all professors or teachers are like that. And no, this is not like a handout. I don't expect to get A's on my projects or free grades, or, you know, I don't expect to miss class every day. I just want to have the communication open for when I do need to miss class. So that is my tip, is to have open communication with your professors. So also, this kind of relates to hydration, and this is another quick tip. If you are a teacher with a sickle cell student, or if you are a sickle cell warrior, you need to communicate to your teachers that a sickle cell disease patient does require more frequent bathroom breaks. So a sickle cell patient can produce diluted urine a lot faster, and even when they are dehydrated, they produce a lot of that diluted urine, which gives them that sensation that they have to go ahead and use the restroom. So it's important for that student to be able to go to the restroom and get the frequent bathroom breaks that they need. Now, don't abuse the bathroom breaks if you're a sickle cell warrior, but with moderation. If you need to go to the restroom, make sure your teachers are aware. And the way I try to handle it, I try to go on my breaks to the restroom. If I have a lunch break, I'll go on my lunch break. If I'm just walking to my next class and I have 10 minutes, I'll stop in the washroom, go to the bathroom and do my business. And I'll try not to interrupt class, but there are circumstances where I'm in a crisis and may need to leave to the bathroom and go ahead and take my medications and stuff like that. So frequent bathroom breaks are another tip if you are a sickle cell warrior. The next tip I have is being aware of that weather. And like I've mentioned in a previous video, weather does affect sickle cell disease. So if you are in a classroom where the AC is blaring, you definitely want to carry a nice sweater, a nice warm sweatshirt, a sweater, whatever you prefer, and be aware that the classroom is cold. I never leave the house without a sweater because the extreme temperatures really affect my body. If it's freezing cold, I get a lot of pain. If it's super hot, I get a lot of pain. So at least with a sweater, you can remove it and, you know, carry it in your hand and, you know, have a nice tank top underneath, depending on what type of weather it is. I live in California, so usually I'm in tank tops all the time, and then I just put a sweater, you know, over. The next thing I wanted to go on to discuss is that if you are a K through 12 student, meaning your kindergarten through 12th grade, you can get an AB 504 plan. A 504 plan is basically where a child who has special requirements, or, you know, in this case maybe like frequent bathroom breaks and different needs that a child may have, so they can put all of those things in the 504 plan so the child is not jeopardized in the education system. Like I mentioned, they outline the reasonable accommodations that the child may need. If the child is in the hospital, extra time to finish up an assignment. If they missed a test, maybe they can reschedule the test for the next week. Like mentioned before, the 504 plan will outline the reasonable accommodations the doctor, the child, the parents, and the teachers think is reasonable. So all of these players kind of work to form this specialized plan for the child. I had one when I was in middle school and high school, and it was really able to help me in my learning, and I graduated high school and now I'm in college. So if you are a college student, you also do have some options, and you can go to DSS, which is Disabled Student Services, And it might be something different on each campus depending, your school, your university, but you can go there and submit paperwork of the medical issues that you have. For example, I had vision problems. For college students, you can go to DSS and request certain accommodations that you may need. So like mentioned before, I try to not ask for many accommodations because I do want to try and live a normal life and try to be as normal as possible. And for me, it is important to, succeed and prove myself that I can do it just like any normal college student or any other normal student would. So I try to have those resources as a backup if anything were to happen. My teachers are aware that, I do have sickle cell, that I do have vision problems. So if I'm in the hospital one week and I can't turn something in, I'll shoot them an email and let them know what's going on so it's not a complete surprise. Also, if I hadn't submitted any paperwork, there's no way that they can really help you because all that paperwork needs to go in through DSS or the 504 plan, so the professors and the teachers are aware of your situation, so it doesn't come as a complete blindside when one day you're in the hospital asking for a test makeup. They may be very rude and tell you didn't submit your paperwork on time, or you didn't notify me that you were a DSS student, so I can't help you. You're gonna fail the class. So it's very important to not only have that open communication, but to fill out that DSS paperwork or the AB 504 plan paperwork on time so the student can succeed in a healthy academic environment. So one last and final tip that I have is that if you are a student, make sure you stay on top of everything and are well organized so you don't fall behind on those days that you may feel sick. I know that it's easy to procrastinate, wait till the last minute, and so many excuses. And I'm saying that from my personal experience. I would procrastinate till the night before to write a paper. So I definitely recommend to stay on top of your homework, be organized, be proactive about the situation. And if you're feeling great one day, do your homework and maybe do a little bit more so you don't have to do some tomorrow. So I try to, stay proactive and do my homework on time. I try to stick to a schedule. I try to do what I gotta do. It's definitely a balance, but the best thing I can say is have a planner and write everything down and the due dates and see what needs to be crossed off the list based off those due dates. If I have a paper that's due tomorrow, I'm gonna work on that, and I'm not gonna work on the paper that's due Friday because I still have a couple of more days to work on that paper. Like I mentioned, I try to write everything down into a little planner, and then I make lists of my assignments, of my housework, of any household chores that I need to do, laundry, simple things so I can remind myself of what needs to be done. So I'm gonna wrap it up, guys. Those are some tips and tricks that I have for a sickle cell patient or a sickle cell warrior who is in school, whether you're a K through 12 student or a college student. I feel like some of these tips go hand on hand. And if you have any further questions, please let me know and I can go ahead and answer that. And also don't forget to check out my Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. I'll leave my social media linked in the description box. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys. Happy Valentine's Day. I don't have a Valentine's Day, so it'll be me and my pups. So these are my little Valentines. Bye, guys. Happy Valentine's Day from me and Angel. Bye, guys.